Hello and welcome everybody to 1987. Because this particular individual was made in 1987, but I might entitle the video 1985 because the model was originally released in 1985 under the PGA brand, but then they changed their name to Tommy Armour in 1987. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to title this video, but in the 80s, I'm looking at these blades. These are very amazing, clean, just striking blades. All sorts of puns in there. Just ignore that. But let's go turn the clock back to 1980s. Okay, 87 in particular. The Masters, that was the amazing Mize. Was it Larry Mize who hit that amazing chip shot and it bounced in, just going crazy, winning the Masters? Nick Faldo is on the scene in 1987. I think he won the Open. The British Open. Fact check that. Well, I'll edit that part out if I'm wrong. But so, at that time, how I see that time, okay, this is just my perception. I see that time, and I'm not saying that's not how I see current pro golfers, but at that time, I always saw them as precision. You know what I mean? It's I know there were Jack Nicklaus, previous to that maybe, was kind of considered a power player, John Daly later in the 90s. But I saw that as precision. I saw Seve Ballesteros. Nick Faldo was, had enough power. But I always see him as so precise in the precision of those golfers. And I think about blades like this, particular blade. Not that they were playing this, but this is what I think of. And so when I think of 80s and I think of blades, I get excited because that was an amazing era of amazing golfers. And we have some equipment to remind us of that era. So let's get this on the review table and have a closer look. Tommy Armour, Silver Scot, and then up here by the top line, it says 986 Tour. Toe side by the top line. Look at the way it curves here from the sole to the toe. Absolutely lovely. Very straight muscle. Looks very, very clean. Very, crisp. I like this look. As we explore the sole, the previous ones say PGA on the sole. This one does not, so it's a later one where they actually changed the name of the company to Tommy Armour. The iron number right here, in this case 7. It is a squiggly Q7 there, you can see that. As you look at the heel profile, it is a muscle back design, thin top line. You can see that even more prevalent here on the toe. Thin top line. It looks pretty rounded up there. And nice toe muscle. Clear to see. The grooves are very clean again. Very good. Very no excess, no embellishments, no decorations on the side. Just a matte finish groove hitting zone with chrome on the sides. The grooves look like they go pretty far across. I've seen clubs where the grooves don't seem to go quite as far. And there is kind of an interesting, like I said, curve. Almost like an early curve up here on the toe, which to me is appealing. I don't know why that's appealing. I just like that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As far as any sort of offset, I'm not seeing any looking down at this. Let me know if you see any here. It looks really, really good. Maybe I'm hesitant to even say the tiniest bit. The shaft is pinned. You can see the hosel on the hosel right here. You can see that pin right there. Some knurling right here. And a ferrule with one silver. I always wonder, is this, have these things been reshafted? Because this looks like it's been spun down with acetone a lot. Almost to a point of being excessive. So I wonder if this is stock. Anyway, this particular one has a True Temper, stiff, S300 dynamic gold, True Temper dynamic gold shaft on it. It says, the PGA Golfers Association America, whatever. I put a sticker on here, 1987 through 89, and I wrote a note here. The previous model, so the 1985 through 86, says PGA on the sole. Okay, yeah, so what I was saying earlier about the sole. And this is a Kelmac Tour Wrap style grip. Feels good. Feels usable. So with that said, let's take this iron, the Tommy Armour Silver Scot 986 Tour, out on the range and hit a few balls and see how it feels.
Tommy Armour Silver Scot 986 Tour. Interesting time in the life of the PGA company. It changed their name in 1987 to Tommy Armour. So this model was made in 85 and 86, and those say PGA on the sole. This one in 87 is when they switched their name of the company to Tommy Armour. So it just says no PGA on the sole, just says Tommy Armour. So lovely clean blade. Looking down at it, nothing offensive. Nice long blade, rounded top line. It looks like a good solid blade. My usual pulley draw. There will be some data at the end, just a few shots you can see, get an idea about how far these are going. Weaker grip, out to in thoughts, trying to get this to go a little bit straighter. Blades are so rewarding because they give you feedback. It's like, oh, you hit that one a little toey. Oh, you hit that one a little fat. Oh, you hit that. I guess it's easy to tell when you hit something fat. And then when you hit it like pure, like you feel like $1,000,000. You're like, yes, nailed it. So I love the feedback on blades. It's just so rewarding. I feel like you can do conquer the world with these. Anyway, stay tuned for the data at the end. Let me know your thoughts about blades, about Silver Scot 50s versus like 80s. What would you play? Do you like blades? I mean, this is just such a lovely club. Anyway, I'm excited to read your comments. Leave them in the comments below.
This feels like a blade. Shocker. We know, vintage golfer. Okay, now, great feedback, very workable, does what I want it to do, good loft, good shaft in this case, good grip, everything was fine, okay? Now, let me ask you a question. When you think of Tommy Armour, what do you think of? Let me know. I think of historic McGregors. His name was on all sorts of clubs through the 50s and 60s, 70s, 80s. And there comes a point where you're just like, why would I choose this? Okay, so let's take a step back. What other blades were really popular in the 80s? The one that comes to my mind that I love are the Murfields. The VIP, McGregor, Murfields, stunning. VIP, I think of Jack Nicklaus. Murfield, I think of Jack Nicklaus. Okay, at the time, maybe more relevant than Tommy Armour. Great golf club designer, marketer, McGregor. I don't know. So, I appreciate what Tommy Armour has contributed to golf. Not taking anything away from it. But when it comes to like vintage golf and something I'm excited about, where does this place in my head? And that's the question that I'm struggling with right now. As far as a club that you can go out and play golf with, yes, this is excellent for the 80s. Would I play a Ben Hogan over this? It's hard to say. It is because, well, okay, let me open up my mind a little. This is how my mind works. More important than my thoughts are your thoughts, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But like Ben Hogan, I feel like a lot of vintage golf is saturated with Ben Hogan irons. Like if somebody comes out and says, grab your vintage set, let's go. If I show up, there's a good chance they're going to be having, they have a set of Hogan or McGregor vintage irons. I show up with some Tommy Armours, then I'm different. But if I'm just off by myself, want to enjoy golf, which one am I going to grab? Right now, I feel like I'll lean towards the McGregors. I do, or the Ben Hogans. Not to take anything away from this club. And do you see how this isn't fair? Like our perception of things is our own. As Mythbuster, Adam Savage famously says, I think it was him who said that, who says, I reject your reality and replace it with my own. right? Which is a great line, which is great. That's what we're talking about here. This is just how I perceive this iron. Am I any more capable with this iron than I am with a Ben Hogan or a McGregor Murfield? No. I can tell you right now, I'm not. My variance far exceeds any variance that might exist in this club. So does it really matter? For the score, ultimately, no, because it comes down to me, the golfer. But when I'm choosing, and this is what this channel is about, like if you're choosing to go play a set, and that's my favorite part of vintage golf, not the collecting or the hoarding or the selling or how valuable things are. I guess that kind of goes with collecting. Anyway, or investing, let's say that. So it's going out and enjoying golf, whether it's on the range or whether it's on the golf course or whether it's in the simulator with your son, whatever, or daughter, whatever. So Tommy Armour, yes and no at the same time. Is that clear to anybody other than me? So if I'm just off by myself, I'm not worried about other people playing Ben Hogans or McGregors. This is probably pretty low on my list. Maybe 4th, 5th on the list of like irons I want to play from the 80s. But if I'm going out and when I know somebody's going to have their Ben Hogan set, I'm going to pack these instead because they're different. It doesn't say McGregor. It doesn't say Ben Hogan. Thank you very much. They're beautiful blades and they deserve some respect. Hope that clears things up. As usual, your opinion is more important than my opinion. Let us know your opinion in the comments below. I'd like to thank my patrons. I can't thank my patrons enough for sticking with me through all of this. I mean, it really means a lot to have some support and know that I have some backing. I just can't express my thanks enough. Another way you can support this channel is visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you everybody for watching. I am the Vintage Golfer.